Today I'm going to show you how you can create a scene in the Godot game engine using the built-in OS functions where pressing the play button is almost impossible. And when you finally do press the play button, the player will get a pretty windscreen. Alright, so let's get started. Before you get started with Godot, you want to go ahead and find a font for your project. I like font.com, it's free, you don't have to make an account, and there's lots of options. But you can really use whatever website you want. So just go ahead and look for one that you like. So I chose this font. I think it's going to look really good with our project, but you can go ahead and use whatever you want. I will have a link to this one in the description though. Just go ahead and download it and put it in a place where it's easy to access. I have mine on my desktop. We want to go ahead and open up Godot and then do new project. Name it whatever you want. I'm going to do tutorial and then make a new directory for it. I'm going to go ahead and put it in my desktop. I'm going to name it the same thing I named the project name. Then create and edit. And you want to go ahead and get started by setting up your scene. We're going to do 2D scene. We're going to do main. And then we're going to do camera 2D. And then we're going to set that to current. Then we're going to do Control S and save this as main.tscn. And then you want to go to project settings. You're going to come down here and go to environment. You want to set that to pretty dark but not completely black. Then you're going to come up here and you want to go to window under your display. You want to go ahead and set that to 256 by 256. And now I've got a square screen. Whenever you press this button in the top here, play scene, it'll go ahead and start the scene. It's going to be a little square that size. And then we want to get started by setting up the control node. So click on main, so we have the parent set right. Type in control. And then we want to do center. And then hold Alt and click on this and drag it out to be about the same size as the camera is. You're going to go in here and you want to type in rich text and you want to get a rich text label. You're going to do the same thing. You want to do center top instead, and then you want to go ahead and drag this down. And then you're going to come over here to BB code and click on enabled, and then you want to do a square bracket. You want to do center, and you're going to do play game, and then you're going to do slash center in square brackets to close it off, just like so. Then we're going to go ahead and move that down a bit. And then we're going to go ahead and click on control again to change the parent. And you want to go and add a button. And we want to change this to play. Move this to the center here. Just in case, put it there. Alright. You want to change this to game text. Then you want to change this, actually we're going to leave that. Alright. Then we want to make the confetti particles. And we're going to do that by doing particles 2D. And we're actually going to use the CPU particles 2D. And we want to come over here. And we want to go to our shape. We're going to change that to box. Then we're going to change the extents to 256. And we're going to change that to 32. Now it's a bit larger. We're going to come up here, click there on the move icon, and then we're going to move it up here a little bit above our scene. Then we're going to go to scale and change it to 4. We're going to go to color. For now, we're just going to make it red. And then we're going to go to angular velocity, change this to 360, and then change this to 1. And then now they'll rotate while they're falling. Then we're going to rename this to red confetti. And then we're going to go ahead and duplicate this and make all different colors. Actually, before we do that, we're going to go ahead and change this to 333. Change the lifetime here to about 4. Then we'll get this effect here. It will cut off. Actually, we're going to change it a little bit lower. About 3 is good right there. There we go. Then we're going to make the blue color here, just by pressing Control D and then duplicating that, and then we're going to change the color there. We're going to rename this to the blue confetti. Then we need green confetti. And we're going to change the color here again to green. As you can see, all looks pretty good so far. Then we also need yellow confetti. I'm going to change the color here to yellow. We need pink confetti. Going to change the color here to pink. Then we need teal confetti. Then we're going to change the color here to teal. Now I've got all our different confetti here. I'm going to go ahead and move this above this here, like so. And now this will be above our confetti particles. And then we're going to go ahead and minus out of that for now. We're going to open up our font. We're going to drag our TTF font file into Godot. Then we're going to go ahead and create a new dynamic font resource. You want to put 8-bit wonder in the font data. Then you're going to go ahead and copy it. And as you can see, we now have our new button here with our custom font. We're going to go ahead and move this over. And then this might also show up. You're going to go ahead and uncheck scroll active. Now we've got our main scene here. As you can see, the confetti falls behind all our text. And the final thing we want to do is in our text, we want to make the outline size 4. I'm going to go ahead and make the color about the same as the background. And what we can actually do is come over here, click on the outline color, click on the color picker here, and just choose that right there. Now it'll be perfect. And this also isn't big enough, so I'm going to go ahead and just resize this. There we go, now the bottom is displayed as well. And then down here on the button, we want to check flat. And then the thing behind it will go away, right there. And we're going to go ahead and try it out. You can see the button kind of lights up when we hover over it. And it also does this focusing. We're actually going to disable that because I don't like the way it looks. If you want to, you can leave it, but I'm going to go ahead and enable focus, change that to none. And then now the square won't pop up around it. And then for now, we're going to go ahead and select all these and just make them invisible. Alright, next we want to go ahead and add an area 2D to this button. So click up here, add area 2D, right here. And you want to add a collision shape to this area. So collision shape 2D. Then we're going to go ahead and make that a square. a rectangle actually, my bad. We're going to go ahead and expand that right there. We're going to move this to be the same spot as the play button is. Just go ahead and move that over there. There we go. Try to center it as well as I can. Let me see. There we go. Much better. And we're going to go ahead and come up here, click on main, and we're going to create another area. So do area 2D again. And then you're going to rename this one to mouse area. Then you want to add a collision shape as well. This time we're going to do a tiny circle. So make it a circle and then just make it pretty small, about that size. And then for this, we want to go ahead and click on make sure the object's children are not selectable. Then we won't have to worry about selecting the collision shape on accident. We'll just move the area around. Just to make it more convenient if we're messing with things later. We're going to go ahead and get started with the scripts. So we're going to come up here and click on the script icon with the green plus on it. And we're just going to leave the name mousearea.gd. Going to press create. And then we're going to come in here and we're going to remove all of this. So we don't need any of it. I'm just going to leave the extends area 2D. Then I'm going to do func input event. And that's going to get the input every single time the player presses any type of input, even a MIDI keyboard or mouse or controller, or the mouse moves like so, which is what we're using it for. We're going to check if the event, what type of motion, what type of event it is right here. And then we're going to set our global transform of our area. We're going to set its position, its origin, to the mouse global position right here. And then we're going to go ahead and press Control S and save that real quick. And we're just going to go ahead and start up our scene. Then you won't be able to see it moving around yet. So we're going to go ahead and press X, do debug, visible collision shapes, and then open up your scene again. And now we can see our little blue dot is following our cursor. It doesn't do anything right now, but will in the future. So now we're going to go ahead and add a script to our button. And we're just going to leave the name button.gd as well. And we're going to come up here and we're going to define the variables one and run away, like so. And then we're going to delete this, all the comments. And we're going to also delete the ready function. And we're going to go ahead and replace the process function. We're just going to delete it, and then we're going to go ahead and do func process delta, like so. And then we're going to check if runaway is true and if the player hasn't won. And then we're going to get the direction to the target. So that's going to be our area 2D from the global mouse position. So that's going to do the math between them and get the direction to the target. So that's going to be our area 2D from the global mouse position. So that's going to do the math between them and get the direction. And then we're going to go ahead and do os.window_position plus equals dir to target times area 2D dot global transform dot origin dot distance 2, and then get global mouse position. And then this is going to move the window by the direction that we just got, and then we're going to multiply it by the distance to the global mouse position. And then after that, we're going to go ahead and set the position to the mouse area to just something way far away so it doesn't keep triggering the button. But for now, what we want to do is we want to come over here and we want to start assigning our signals. So we want to come over here and do area exited and then connect to the button here like so. And then we're going to check if the area name is mouse area. Then runaway will be false. And then we're going to do area entered. And we're just going to go ahead, copy paste this, and set runaway to be true. And then we're going to go ahead and connect our button signal. So when it's pressed, we're going to connect to our script again. And we're going to call a function called win. Just like so. And we're actually going to go ahead and fix this to be entered, because I forgot to do that. We're going to clean this up a bit, remove these spaces here. Then we're going to define the function win. Then we're going to check if the players won. And then if they have not won, we're going to go ahead and set the runaway, so the window will not run away anymore, to false. And we're going to go ahead set 1 to true, so this can't trigger again just in case. And then we're going to go ahead and do get parent dot find node red confetti dot emitting equals true. Then we're going to go ahead copy this 6 times, once for each of our particles. And there we go. And then we're going to go ahead and set our BB code text. So mine's going to be set up to be centered. It's going to have the rainbow effect, which makes it bounce up and down, or my bad, it's just going to have the rainbow effect, which just makes it go all different colors. The 6 colors here is actually what it's going to be. And then we also have the tornado effect, which is going to make it bounce up and down. Then I've got the closing tags for all of those. Then we're going to go ahead and try it out real quick. We're going to press Control S and save. And then we're going to go ahead and press play scene. And as you can see, the window runs away. It tries to avoid the cursor whenever the player gets near it. And our confetti is actually not visible right now. So we're going to go ahead and set all of this to be visible again. And we're just going to disable emitting. So that's all going to stop emitting. And now whenever we win, it's going to say yay, and it's going to drop the confetti. Now we also want to go ahead and hide our button here. So we're going to go ahead and go here. We're going to do visible equals false. As you can tell, it works pretty well. So just for debug, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make it a little bit smaller so it's easier to press. And there we go. Now, if you think it's too easy, what you can go ahead and do is just expand this a little bit, and then it'll make it a lot harder for the player to press it, as the game will move it a lot sooner. And then finally, we're going to go here, close out of this, disable the visible collision shapes, then try it one last time. Now you won't be able to see the blue outlines, and it'll still dodge the player. And that's going to be it for this video. I'll leave links to everything in the description. If you liked, maybe subscribe, leave a like. See you later.